Advisory Council gives final approval to the draft of Anti-terrorism Amendment Ordinance 2025. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus gives 5 directives to improve stock market. Government to bring international experts to reform stock market within 3 months. Buddha Purnima today. Buddhist community observing the day with high religious fervor and festivities. Chief Advisor greeted all Buddhists on the occasion. Election Commission decide on Awami League's registration after publication of Gazette, says Chief Election Commission. BNP welcomes ban on Awami League's activities and trial of Awami League by amendment of International Crimes Tribunal, says Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed. Stern actions to be taken if anyone tries to run activities of the banned organization, says Dhaka Range Deputy Inspector General. Country's highest temperature today recorded 41.8 degrees Celsius at Chuadanga. Rain likely to start from Tuesday, says Met Office. Explosions reported at Srinagar in Kashmir, couple of hours after India and Pakistan agreed to ceasefire. Both accuses each other of violating ceasefire. And Bangladesh stormed into the semi-finals of South Under-19 Championship, defeating Bhutan by 3-0 goals at Arunachal of India. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamim Khan, welcoming you all to News at 10. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news in details. The Council of Advisors approved the draft of Anti-terrorism Amendment Ordinance 2025 with provisions to ban individuals or entities involved in terrorist acts and their activities. The Council made the approval to the Anti-terrorism Amendment Ordinance 2025 at a special meeting with Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus in the chair. The meeting was held at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. According to the summary, the Anti-Terrorism Act 2009 was enacted to make provisions for prevention of certain terrorist acts and ensure the effective punishment. To meet the purpose of the Act, the government may, on the basis of reasonable grounds that any person or entity is involved in terrorist acts, list such person in the schedule or declare the entity prohibited and listed in the schedule by issuing official Gazette notification. However, there is no provision in the existing law regarding prohibition of the activities of any entity. Since the matter needs to be clarified, it is appropriate and necessary to further amend Anti-terrorism Act 2009 to make it time-befitting. In such context, the Anti-terrorism Act has been amended to prohibit the activities of any entity, make necessary adaptations, and include provisions prohibiting promotion in online and social media. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus called for urgent and coordinated action from all relevant agencies to ensure Bangladesh's smooth and timely graduation from the least developed country LDC status. He made the remarks during a high-level meeting with the LDC Graduation Committee held at the State Guest House Jamuna today, where progress on key deliverables was reviewed. The Chief Advisor said this whole thing is about coordination. He said the government already has attention and support of investors, funders and development partners. Now we must build on the efforts already underway and intensify a collective action to move forward with speed and purpose, he also added. Emphasizing on the importance of institutional readiness, Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus called on all stakeholders to move in unison. He further assured that the Chief Advisor's office will take an active role in overseeing the process. During the meeting, the LDC Graduation Committee identified 5 priority actions that must be completed on an urgent basis, and the actions are: full operationalization of the national single window with participation from all relevant agencies, implementation of National Tariff Policy 2023 through a clear action plan, execution of key measures under National Logistics Policy 2024, including infrastructure projects, operational readiness of the Effluent Treatment Plant (ETP) at Sawa Tannery Village, and full-scale operation of active pharmaceutical ingredient API Park in Gauj area, Munshiganj. Finance Advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed, Chief Advisor Special Assistant Dr. Anisuzzaman Chaudhry, Chief Advisor Special Envoy for International Affairs Lutfi Siddiqui attended the meeting. Besides, members of LDC Graduation Committee and policy advisors were present. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has given 5 directives to the stakeholders to improve situation of the country's stock market. The Chief Advisor gave this instruction at a meeting with concern about the country's stock market situation at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. The 5 directives of the Chief Advisor are to take necessary steps regarding inclusion of multinational companies owned by the government in the stock market by reducing the government's shares. Take necessary measures including incentives to encourage domestic large companies in the private sector to be listed in the capital market. Bring in foreign experts to reform the stock market within 3 months to stop manipulation of vested interests. Take strict action against those involved in irregularities in the capital market. And take measures to reduce bank loan dependence for business that need large loans and encourage them to raise funds through bonds and equity from the capital market. The Chief Advisor said if those who have been involved in destabilizing the stock market through looting over the past few decades are not brought to justice, public trust will not be restored. The situation to which the stock market has been brought is inconceivable. We must certainly overcome this situation. Finance Advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed, Chief Advisor Special Assistant Dr. Anisuzzaman Chaudhry, Principal Secretary of the Chief Advisor Sirajuddin Mia, Secretary of the Financial Institutions Division Najma Mubarak, and Chairman of Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission Khondakar Rashid Maqsood were present at the meeting. After the meeting, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Muhammad Shafiqul Alam briefed journalists in front of Jamuna. Government has formed a high-powered committee today to investigate departure of former President Muhammad Abdul Hamid from the country. The members of the committee are Education Advisor Professor C.R. Abrar, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan, and Shipping Advisor Brigadier General Retired M. Shekhawat Hussain. The committee has been asked to submit its report within the next 15 days. The Election Commission will take a decision on registration of Awami League, which was ousted from power in a mass uprising after receiving formal instructions from the government. Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin informed the media today. The CEC said that if the gazette of banning Awami League issued tomorrow, then a decision will be taken on the matter tomorrow. BNP welcomed the government's decision to impose restrictions on Awami League's activities. This has been stated by Saliuddin Ahmed, a member of the party's standing committee. He said that the mafia strength has no recognition anywhere in the country or abroad as a political party of Awami League. He made these comments while replying to questions from journalists at the International Mother Language Institute in the capital today. Saliuddin Ahmed said that Awami League does not believe in democracy. There is no existence of democracy in the DNA. He also praised the initiative to amend the law to bring Awami League under the law as a party. No activities of banned organizations will be allowed in Dhaka Range. Dhaka Range DIG Rizal Karim Mullik ordered strict action against anyone who tries to run the activities of banned organizations. He gave this order at a press conference at the Dhaka Range office in Segunbaghicha, the capital, this morning. Rizal Karim said that action is being taken immediately if evidence of a crime is found against any police officer. If there is any crime by the criminal or subordinate police officer, action will be taken after hearing it directly. Rizal Karim Mullik said that a special monitoring cell will be open in the DIG office to closely monitor the cases filed in the mass uprising incident. In the monitoring cell, he will personally talk to the plaintiff, victim, family members of the martyrs and injured in the mass uprising in each case and take action according to law. Buddha Purnima, the biggest religious festival of the Buddhist community, is being observed across the country today. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus greeted the Buddhist community on the occasion of Buddha Purnima. The Buddhist community is celebrating the day with grandeur at various monasteries through Buddha worship, lighting of lamps, peace processions, religious discussions and congregational prayers. People are paying their respect by offering flowers, fruits and sweets before the statue of Buddha, lighting lamps and reciting religious scriptures. Through the prayers, worshippers are seeking global peace and welfare of humanity. According to Buddhist belief, nearly 2,500 years ago, on this very day, the great Gautam Buddha appeared on earth. The auspicious birth, enlightenment and Mahaparinirvana of Gautam Buddha, all three are believed to have occurred on this full moon day of the month of Boishakh. That is why it is known as Buddha Purnima among the global Buddhist community. The core philosophy of Buddha's life is rooted in non-violence, equality, compassion and peaceful coexistence. On the occasion, members of the Buddhist community. Meanwhile, BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi expressed hope for peace across the country and the world through non-violent philosophy of Buddhism. He made the remarks today while speaking at a rally in front of National Press Club in the capital, organized by Nationalist Buddhist Forum on the occasion of Buddha Purnima. Nationalist Buddhist Forum President Dilip Borua, General Secretary Partha Pratim Borua, BNP leaders among others were present at that time. Leaders from various social, political and cultural organizations extended greetings and congratulations to the Buddhist community marking the day. President Muhammad Shahabuddin exchanged greetings with the Buddhist community members at Bongo Bhavan this afternoon on the occasion of Buddha Purnima. Religious Affairs Advisor Dr. A.F.M. Khalid Hussain was present. Leaders of Buddhist community, foreign diplomats and distinguished personalities of Buddhist community attended the reception. Rain across the country, including the capital, from tomorrow is likely to decrease the current severe hot spell. Met Office informed the extreme heat wave is sweeping across the country. Besides, the persisting hot spell across various parts of the country will continue till tomorrow. In the months of April-May, the sun ray fall vertically, increasing the temperature in the country. As a result, mild to moderate hot spell began sweeping across the country from 7th of the current month. The spell turned into severe to very severe hot spell in the last 2 to 3 days. Chuadanga is experiencing severe hot spell in the last couple of days. On the other hand, several districts, including Dhaka, had severe hot spell. People are exhausted in the intense heat across the country. Laborers in the capital are facing most difficulties due to severe scorching heat. According to Weather Office, the rain spell began from Sylhet region is likely to spread throughout the country gradually. Meanwhile, meteorologists predicted a low is likely to be formed in the bay, which later may turn into a cyclone. International news. India and Pakistan accused each other of violations hours after the two nations said they had agreed to a ceasefire, following days of cross-border military strikes. After sounds of explosions were heard in Indian-administered Kashmir, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said there had been repeated violations of the understanding we arrived at. A short while later, Pakistan's Foreign Ministry said it remained committed to faithful implementation of a ceasefire, notwithstanding the violations being committed by India in some areas. The fighting between India and Pakistan over the last 4 days has been the worst military confrontation between the two rivals in decades. The use of drones, missiles and artillery started when India struck targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir in response to a deadly militant attack in Pahalgam last month. Pakistan denied any involvement. After 4 days of cross-border strikes, India and Pakistan said they had agreed on a full and immediate ceasefire. US President Donald Trump announced the news of his Truth social platform on Saturday morning. He said it had been brokered by the US. Pakistan's foreign minister later confirmed the agreement had been reached by the two countries, adding that 36 countries were involved in diplomacy. At least 23 people, including several children, have been killed in Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip since dawn, amid a month-long Israeli blockade that deepened the humanitarian crisis in the war-torn coastal enclave. 4 Palestinians were killed and others were wounded Saturday evening after an Israeli airstrike targeted at 10 sheltering displaced families in Deir al-Balah in the central Gaza Strip. Earlier, Palestinian news agency Wafa said Israeli warplanes bombed a tent in the Sabra neighborhood of Gaza City on Saturday morning, killing 5 members of the Tlaib family. 3 children, their mother and her husband were sleeping inside a tent and were bombed by an Israeli occupation aircraft. The strikes came without warning and without having done anything wrong, added Abu al-Qas, who said he was the children's maternal grandfather. In parallel, a drone attack on Gaza City's Tufa neighborhood left 6 people dead and 1 more in the Sheikh Radwan area of the city, where Israel bombed an apartment belonging to Zakut family. Further south, Wafa said Israeli gunboats opened heavy fire on the shores of Rafah, killing a man identified as Mohammed Saeed al-Bardawil. 2 more civilians were injured in an attack on the al-Mawasi humanitarian zone west of Rafah. Russian President Vladimir Putin called for direct talks with Ukraine, saying they should start without delay as early as 15th May. It comes hours after European leaders, including UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, visited Ukraine and urged Russia to agree to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. In response, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov had said Moscow would have to think this through, but warned that trying to pressure US is quite useless. In a statement, Putin said he would not rule out that in the course of the talks, which he proposed should happen in Turkey's capital Istanbul, Russia and Ukraine may be able to agree new ceasefires, a new truce. The Russian leader said he would speak to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Sunday to discuss the details. Kiev has not commented on the proposal from Putin. Early on Saturday, European leaders traveled to the Ukrainian capital and called on Moscow to agree to a month-long ceasefire with Ukraine starting Monday. Bangla adaptation of Chinese book Xi Jinping Country Administration, highlighting the story and challenge of China, was unveiled in Dhaka today. Chinese ambassador to Bangladesh Yao Wen, Road Transport Bridges advisor Fazil Kabir Khan and leaders of various political parties unveiled the book at a city hotel. Speaking on the occasion, the Chinese ambassador said that the Bangla version of the book will help Bangladeshi readers to have an idea about his country's development, science and technology, as well as governance philosophy. He described it as one of the important initiatives of the 50 years of China-Bangladesh relationship. At the program, Road Transport and Bridges advisor Fazil Kabir Khan laid emphasis on further increasing Dhaka-Beijing relationship. Advisors said that establishing Chinese Cultural Center and begin Opera Show in Dhaka are under active consideration. The program was also addressed by BNP Standing Committee member Dr. Abdul Muin Khan, Jamaat Naib Amir Dr. Abdullah Muhammad Tahir and Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam. A view exchange meeting titled Friendship and Cooperation between women journalists of Bangladesh and Nepal was held in Dhaka today. Women journalists from both the countries discussed gender-based challenge of overall South Asian media environment. Besides, they also talked on their professional experiences. Professional barriers also came up for discussion at the view exchange meeting organized in cooperation with Nepalese Embassy in Dhaka. Besides mutual networking and future cooperation were highlighted at the program. Nepalese Ambassador in Dhaka Ghanshyam Bhandari and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nepal Indira Rana spoke, among others. Now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast through 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain mainly dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the country, having chances of rain or thunder showers at a few places over Mymensingh and Sylhet division and at 1 or 2 places over Rangpur, Rajshahi, Dhaka and Chattogram divisions. Night temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. Day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over Khulna division and it may fall by 1 to 3 degrees Celsius elsewhere over the country. Country's highest temperature was recorded today in Chuadanga, 41.8 degrees Celsius, and capital Dhaka's highest temperature was 39.9 degrees Celsius. Now news on sports. Defending champions Bangladesh reached the semi-finals of the SAF Under-19 Championship with a 3-0 win over Bhutan in the second and last group stage match in Arunachal, India today. With no option apart from a win to secure a last 4 slot, Bangladesh produced a balanced performance to outplay their Himalayan opponents. Winger Murshid Ali put Bangladesh ahead with a fine curling effort in the 13th minute. Midfielder Shumon Soren, capitalizing a blunder of Bhutan defence, doubled the margin in the 28th minute. Bangladesh led the first half 2-0. Bhutan tried hard to make their way through, but a solid Bangladesh defence kept the fort unhurt. Skipper Najmul Huda Faisal scored in the stoppage time to cap off a comprehensive victory for Bangladesh. Ghulam Rabbani Chotun's side drew 2-2 draw in the first group match against the Maldives on Friday. With today's win, Bangladesh completed the group stage with 4 points. The other semi-final slot from the group will be decided after Maldives-Bhutan match on Tuesday. Bangladesh women's cricket team defeated South Africa emerging women's cricket team by 14 runs in the third and final one-day match of the 3-match series in Chattogram. However, Bangladesh women's cricket team lost the series by 2-1 after losing the first and second matches. Bangladesh won the toss and elected to bat first at the Bir Shrestha Flight Lieutenant Motiur Rahman Stadium in Chattogram. The hosts scored 253 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. For the team, Izma Tanjeem scored 57, Afia Ashima 44, Shonna Akhtar unbeaten 41, Sumaya Akhtar 38, Rubia Haider scored 34 runs. In reply, South Africa women were all out for 239 runs in 44 overs. Simon Lawrence scored 68 and Tunnicliffe scored 55 runs for the team. Shonna Akhtar was named man of the match. And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Advisory Council gives final approval to the draft of Anti-terrorism Amendment Ordinance 2025. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus gives 5 directives to improve stock market. Government to bring international experts to reform the stock market within 3 months. Buddhist community observing the day with high religious fervor and festivities. Chief Advisor greeted all Buddhists on the occasion. Election Commission to decide on Awami League's registration after publication of Gazette, says Chief Election Commission. BNP welcomes ban on Awami League's activities and trial of Awami League by amendment of International Crimes Tribunal, says Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed. Stern action to be taken if anyone tries to run activities of the banned organization, says Dhaka Range Deputy Inspector General. Country's highest temperature today recorded at 41.8 degrees Celsius in Chuadanga. Rain likely to start from Tuesday, says Met Office. Explosions reported at Srinagar in Kashmir couple of hours after India and Pakistan agreed to ceasefire. Both accuse each other of violating ceasefire. And Bangladesh stormed into the semi-finals of SAF Under-19 Championship, defeating Bhutan by 3-0 goals at Arunachal of India. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you indeed for joining us, and we invite you to watch our 11 p.m. Bangla news. Until then, Allah.